Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. There it is.
Hi. It says we're
Oh,
live.
it says we're live. We are live. We're going to
Hi, everybody.
get rid of this box right here. And as usual, I didn't get it right today. No, that's not the one I want. That's the one I want. With it's Boogie with the Bull. I'm Dave Logan. You all know that. We're live on my profile on Facebook and the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And with us tonight is Jen Warder, the homeschool mom who has, I don't know, a lot of everything to talk about tonight. And
Wow.
the chat group, excuse me, the live chat is open on my profile and over on YouTube. And I invited a lot of people who said they had things to say tonight. So it'll be interesting to see if they show up or if they don't. Anyway, Jen, what do you got?
Hi, Dave. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. I wanted to bring up this weird post I made today. Well, I didn't make it. I posted it. It was something I copied from TikTok, and there was this guy. He's a guy who's usually the "What's up, America." He's got very colorful language, and he always starts with "What's up, America," and he talks about what's going on, especially a lot of the distractions, like everything is. And that is exactly what is supposed to happen on Saturday. That's the day that Trump is planning this big patriotic tribute, and it's also the day that the deep state or the left is going to do everything opposite of that to destroy the American spirit. Anyhow, at the same time, this guy, the What's Up America guy, he does. Hi, Robin. He does. The one that does What's Up America. He says that, hey, Trump, it's great that you're doing this, but buddy, don't be distracted. They're going after the money. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is he talking about? Is there a bill that's supposed to pass in the middle of the night sometime that we don't know about? I mean, obviously, we know that they've decommissioned the penny. So we don't have that anymore. We know they want to go to digital currency so they can see everything everyone does, and I want to know what they're talking about. Do you know anything about that, Dave?
I know they're getting rid of the penny. Uh,
Right.
I guess because it costs more to make than it's worth.
That it's worth.
I think that's probably alone one of the big things that could push us into a digital, cashless society. Most of us that have lived on credit cards or your bank debit card for years are already living on a cashless society anyway.
Right.
The only thing about it that bothers me in a digital world is evidently the government, hoping that Kamala Harris had won the election, would have been able to, I guess, take away money from you whenever they wanted to. If you said something wrong or did something wrong, they could take money away from you. Uh, I would hope they would do that very fast with me because I do a lot of things that I'm sure people don't like, and taking it away from me so that I can't be on Facebook. Okay, I'll just go find someplace else. Take it away from me. Take the internet away from me, then I'm in trouble.
Oh, wow.
I'm just not playing that they need to control us anymore. They don't. We don't live for them. They exist because we allow them to serve us. And I'm getting sick and tired of hearing other people say that it's the other way around. I mean, I know we are serving them right now, but the rules of the game, according to the way this company or whatever you want to call it is built, is no. They work for
Right.
us.
I know.
A bunch of representatives in the House have the lower body, and I guess because they're closer to us, and in the Senate we have 102 from every state. They're supposed to be the upper house, a little more polished at what they do, a little closer to the president. And you know what? I don't want to hear anymore that that it's going to get bad. I know it's going to get bad because everything gets bad before it gets good, or maybe everything will be good. I don't really
That's
know.
good. You have to have a
For
mess
some,
to fix it, clean a mess. So, yeah.
I don't need. Yeah, yeah, but I mean, I I'm not religious in the sense that Armageddon is going to happen and we're all going to die. Why? Because God flooded the world for 40 days and 40 nights to wash it all away years ago. And then said, you know what, guys, I did what I needed to do. I hope you learned a lesson. And, we've done everything wrong ever since. And where God is or where Jesus is, I don't really want to argue with people. But good evening, Jane O'Malley. I'm glad to see you here. And Robin Brunson is here. And anybody else is welcome to be here and watch us. But like I said, I told Jen before, I want her to lead us through. So I don't want to do all the talking.
Wow.
I always do. I just want Jen to throw ideas or people in the live chat to throw
I didn't
ideas
prepare to run the whole show
and we
today.
roll with it. Well, no, no, no. I mean, a good show can also be two people just sitting and
Yeah.
talking about whatever
Bouncing
comes up.
ideas.
You
Okay.
bouncing ideas off can be really good. I mean, there is a lot to talk about. The Democrats are going to try their best to trash the planet, trash the country. Are they going to be able to trash the country? I honestly don't know. They want us to think they are, but you know what? At the root of it, I think they don't want to trash the country because if they do, the more than $174,000 that they get, that they all want to continue getting, won't be
I
here.
know.
And people in California are going to get wise, I think, because they have elected Gavin Newsom so many times that the same stuff has happened. Out of control wildfires, Los Angeles is in some kind of trouble, and this time add riots to it. And I think the people that live in California that don't want to put up with this kind of stuff and don't have to put up with this kind of stuff might get wise and start electing other people.
Right. Good representatives. Now, about that, we were talking about this the other day, and our friend from Romania asked all four of us on the panel, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think this? Hi, good to see you. I'm like, he's avoiding me because I talk over people. And Dave's like, no, that's
Of course
No,
not.
no.
no.
I told him that I didn't want to talk the most
Yep.
tonight.
Okay.
I didn't want to talk the most. I really wanted to hear what people in the live chat. Well, I can't hear what people in the live chat say because
You
I
can
can't
read
hear
it.
them.
Yeah.
But I wanted people in the live chat to tell us and talk, and I wanted people on the panel to talk, and and you know, I go,
Uh huh.
yeah, right,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and hopefully that's
Okay,
enough.
well, oh, sorry. Back to the topic. We were
Yeah.
talking about how California is going to end. How are you going to stop this? How's this? Is this nonsense? And this guy was bent on martial law. I mean, he was really saying, "This is it. This is the beginning of the end." Da, 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 da. And I'm like, I don't think so. I was the only
Uh,
one that said no because I'm telling you, they. I just saw this from Hannity. It was like a very old podcast, but he says they're coming for you, Newsom, and
Mhm.
they are. Do you know what they need? They need to satisfy the Republicans or the patriots who are fighting for these are our rights. These are, what about this? What about that? And you can't do this. It's not even law and civil unrest. And then the left is just amping everything up. At the same time,
Yeah.
they're like, we need those people for April 15th. So that's why they're tolerating us. So
Well,
I'm saying they need a sacrificial lamb to make the whole thing be quiet. And that's either, well,
well,
this is the lamb. It's either going to be arresting Gavin Newsom or else Karen Dumbass will be the one, the mayor, because she allowed this. So I don't know which one. What do you think, William?
Hmm. I don't know. I think they're throwing entirely too much stock behind Newsom. Uh, like he's really becoming somebody they're relying on as they're heading up into the 2028 elections. And I don't know why they're going to try and run him or try and put him in that kind of a position. But they seem to be backing him a lot. And with that kind of support, I don't see him being thrown under the bus just yet. But somebody's going to have to be. I agree with that, definitely.
Somebody, yeah. I'm guessing it's probably her. And I gave her the middle name Dumb just because it goes so well with her last name, Bass. Sorry.
Well, I think they brought in, meaning the Democrats, brought in a vast number of people. I don't know if they actually planned to eliminate us and put those people that they brought in as the citizens, because I think they will find out that they don't want those people to be in charge of the government.
Right.
And they're so I think now that they've realized that the bulk of the people here do not want them to be here illegally and do not want to pay for them to be here illegally. I think it's like every other well thought Democrat plan. It's unraveling and they don't know
I
what to
know.
do. I mean, we all sit
Nothing's
here and
working
go,
anymore.
well, maybe they need, right, well, maybe we all think, well, maybe they're sitting in a bunker somewhere going, we should just throw our hands up and apologize and take whatever is going to happen to us for doing this. But I mean, it goes to Biden. Biden allowed, I don't know how many millions of them because each day the number changes, but I allowed enough millions of them to come here and then decided that we, the taxpayers, would foot the bill for them to be here.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time to eliminate the ones that we don't want here that didn't have a right to be here.
Hmm.
Uh, Send them out. I'm sure we will find some that are very well hidden, but I'm sure we will find some that actually belong here. They're illegal, but they got a job, they bought a home, they supported a family with their job. Their families went off to school and learned trades and got jobs. And
I wouldn't say they belong. They're still
yeah,
illegal. I know what you're
Still
trying to
technically
say.
illegal.
well,
Yeah.
they are technically illegal, but they need to have that opportunity, I guess, to sit with an immigration
Yeah.
judge who is not looking Republican, Democrat, is just looking at, okay, William, 20 years ago, illegally, but you've been a model citizen while you've been here. The only thing is, you just didn't become legal. So
Oh. Mm.
we're going to put you on a, I don't know, 7 year fast track to become a citizen, or maybe even less. We're going to be on you. We're going to watch you. And if you do, and your family does all of this stuff, we will, take you out to Ellis Island and let you shake Lady Liberty's hand.
Right.
What's the price
And
tag? Isn't there a price tag? Didn't Trump say you could become a citizen?
well,
It's a
for
50, what is it?
yes, well,
50,000?
you can buy the golden right of citizenship for 50,000 for excuse me, $5 million, I think. But I'm not talking about that because
Hmm.
even though I respect the president, I think that's just a game to get money because you may be illegal in this country, but how many people are here illegally in this country that have access to $5 million?
Right.
Right.
And I think if I did, and I was illegal, I probably wouldn't be here anymore.
I know.
Uh,
I don't know.
you
I know a
know,
lot of people that are going through the immigration system right now. One of my
right?
best friends, his wife is from the Philippines, and she's trying to immigrate over here. And dude, it's a hassle, especially being in Alaska because we're out in the suburbs. So when we need to go do something, we have to go catch like two planes to get up to Anchorage.
Yeah.
and then stay up in Anchorage for a night so we can be able to catch the 2 planes the next day to be able to come back, and then schedule your appointments
But
around
see,
all that. And it's
everybody
really complicated, but if you're jumping through those hoops, you should absolutely be given citizenship.
everybody could take that into consideration. And if I was the immigration person looking at it, okay, William, you have to come in so often. I agree that it's a hassle that you have to take 2 planes and wait overnight and then
Right, but it's still
wait
got to be done.
overnight again and take 2 planes to get back. But we can limit the number of in-person visits that you have, and we can meet online or on the phone,
Right.
or even where you are in Alaska, we can say, okay, you'll talk to this person in between talking to me, and I'll talk to that person, and if everything works out, do it. I
That
mean,
would make entirely too much sense.
we all, it would, but we all came
Can't
here
do that.
or came from someone whose father or mother came here, and they all came in through Ellis Island. Harry Glovinsky came in through Ellis Island, and with I think his 11 brothers and his one sister, and his parents, and they came in legally. They all grew up. They all got jobs. They all did this. They all did that. Some got married. I don't know if all of them did. My grandfather got married. That's partly why I'm here. They had 3 kids. Their 3 kids grew up and went to do fantastic things.
Dave,
And,
what do you
each
think
of
is
their
up with
kids.
this ICE thing? Why are we making these bad guys? I mean, we are not. Why is the left making ICE like so offensive, like it's a bad thing? They're not doing anything but
I
protecting the people who are
we're
here legally. So what is
we're not. Legacy media is not giving us all of the facts on some of these suspected bad illegal immigrants. Like a guy in Florida, I forget where, is all up in arms because 6 people from Nicaragua got pulled over the other day. I don't know what the particulars were, but now they're being detained and it's being decided whether or not they were illegal or did something wrong. I don't know because the lawyer for the 6 guys says they were all here legally. They were here with work visas that were still in effect. They were not expired. They had proper identification. They had this. They had that. So I don't know. People aren't telling me all of the particulars, and everybody on both sides, I think, needs to be honest with us. And unfortunately, legacy media doesn't want to be honest with us.
William, is there
If they,
ICE
if
in Alaska? Like, is it in every
Oh yeah,
state pretty much? Okay. Have
yeah.
you
We have a. I've heard of some ice raids going on up north in Anchorage and Fairbanks, I think.
Oh, that's
And those are the only
awesome.
2 places I heard of. But yeah, stuff going on. And I didn't even think we had illegal immigrants up here. It's too
I
cold.
know.
But,
I was thinking
sure as
it's
shit.
crazy. Is it hard to break into Alaska? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't even know. Evidently not. Uh,
Okay, awesome.
I was thinking about the whole how legacy media is acting on all this, and it's kind of like the Democrats are acting. I don't think that the Democrats are really even thinking that they're losing at this point because they're so convinced that they're going to win in the end with their unity and their united message and their media engine and everything else, that they're just like, okay, we are doing the patriotic thing by standing up against this, and thus they're not going to be thinking of anything backing down
but
from that.
but they
It's not
but
something
they
bad.
created this so that they would. In other words, they
Yeah,
created this so they could correct this and be the heroes of America. You know, Joe Biden was nominated to be the next Democrat president. They decided to remove him for, I'm sure, valid reasons, but they decided to remove
yeah,
him. They they gave the nomination to Kamala
Mm.
Harris. I don't think people wanted her to be
Neither do I.
president. Uh, and I'm beyond the this party, that party, this caucus, that caucus. We we have to start being the America caucus, and I know that gets me in trouble with other conservatives because it's like, no, it's this way or the highway. Same thing with the Democrats. It's the highway
Well,
or
no, it
this way.
can't be this way or the
Uh,
highway. Otherwise, this entire nation wouldn't work. We have things in place that
well,
allow us to not have to just side one way or the other on anything almost.
right, right. You know, again, I don't have a problem. I don't necessarily have a problem if you belong here. You have you, it's okay for you to be here. You just didn't say that you were here. Because lots of people do that every year anyway. Most of them get caught and they either get sent home or, well, up until Title 42 was turned off, but most of them that came in illegally were caught and proven whether or not they belonged here. And if they did, they stayed. If not, they got a free plane ride home. Uh,
William, what do you think about this post that I put? It's from the guy that does these TikToks, and he's
Hmm.
this bald guy, and he always starts with "What's up, America?" That's his like tagline. "What's up, America?"
Right.
And so he did this thing today. His language is very colorful, but I get the meaning. And he's saying, don't be distracted by what's going on in California at the same time that Trump is planning this wonderful tribute on Saturday. The left is going, I mean, it's crazy. The pallets of bricks and everything and fire, everything that they're shipping in is to distract, it's to take precedence over what Trump is doing. And this "What's Up" guy is saying what they're really doing is going after the money. And I'm like, how? What do you think? I was talking to Dave. We know they're messing with the
well,
currency. What do you think? What are they talking about? But
Going after the money,
well, there's
I'm not
reports that
entirely sure as
I
far as from the bad guys' angle. Like, are they robbing a place? Are they going after
I
some
know.
kind of fund or
well,
grant that they can?
they're spending a lot of money
Right.
to to get it so these
Oh,
people get to
true.
be here. The $19 billion female heiress to Sam Walton's family, Walmart, uh, is putting up a lot of money to
Funded
deal
them.
with
I
them,
know.
Yeah.
funding them. George
A
Soros
lot of
is
the
tied
NGOs
into
are
all
tied
kinds
into
of
this. You can see it
funds.
in all the equipment that the people have been
Yeah,
having. I saw one guy with a like a fireworks launcher machine. I'm like, bro,
Oh,
there's no way in hell that dude had that sitting in his garage. Okay,
and
no,
no,
that
no,
doesn't
we're gonna
happen.
play with this. Oh my god.
right. But I mean, I saw a copy of an ad on Craigslist
Oh yeah,
that people are making almost starting as low as $7,000 and as high as $12,000 to get hired. And you go and you do the route, you go and you do the riot, and then you get on the bus and you go to the next city and you do the riot. Or
right.
they actually while they're there have people walking the crowds looking for people to hire. I hope people realize that money doesn't come that easy. And I have heard from people before that they got hired by a Soros funding base, I guess, at one point. They showed up like they were supposed to with their backpack and their whatever they could wanted to take with them. And they got on the bus and they went. They got all their paperwork, I think, while they were on the bus. They went and did what they were supposed to do. And they went back to the hotel. In the middle of the night, the managers and the bus driver got on the bus and left. I don't know if the overnight lodging was paid or not. That I don't care about. But basically, their ride to wherever they were supposed to go next left.
Wow.
Huh.
And that's all well and good to me. You can make you know 12,000, 24,000, 36,000, you know $100,000 riding this bus going everywhere, but you don't have that money in your pocket, so it's not like you can just go to the airport and
Well,
find
and
a
it's not
bus.
like you
I mean,
can
find a
spend it
flight
once you actually do anything
and
violent
come
anyway,
home.
because if you get in jail, then you don't have access to any of that fundage. They ain't putting it on your books. They sure as hell ain't paying your bail for you.
That's funny, right? What do you guys think of? Oh, hold on, we're frozen. Are we frozen? Okay.
No, we're not frozen. I turned
Oh,
my
there we go.
mic off because I need to type some. I need to type something on this on the laptop because I realized I just forgot to invite someone that I was
Okay,
supposed
the
to invite.
Vice President Vance, his wife, lovely wife, is going to Greenland, and she's just going on a trip to like I don't know, to be friends with them and to smooth the
To check it
ruffles.
out and say hi and
Yeah,
this, that, and the other. Yeah.
right. And everyone's saying, "Oh, this is just another one of Trump's real estate grabs," but it's not. Can you see what he's doing? I can see what he's doing. When I look at the kids, I always joke, it's a big atlas book, and I'm like, "We are not flat earthers, but we are today," because I don't have a
Right.
globe. It's just a big page. And I'm like, "Look at that." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, mom, we totally see it." There's the United States, and on the same page near the middle of the bottom, you see the Panama Canal that connects. Is it Panama? Yeah, I always screw it up with Suez. It's Panama. It connects the Atlantic with the Pacific. And
Yep.
so he wants to buy that. He already is, and I'm not saying he owns it, but he's the president of the free world. And so he's already assumed the USA. And then he wants to buy this canal, which I think we should just take it back. It was never meant to be given away. I don't know who
Right.
the hot shot is. Was that Carter that gave it?
LBJ.
Ugh. And then the other thing he's talking about is
No,
Greenland. It's
that was Carter. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. The only thing the guy did good, Carter, was Habitat for Humanity and peanut farming. That was it. 2
Right.
things. What makes you want to be a president or ruler, or what is it? The ruler of the free world. Why? You grow peanuts. Just go with that. It's nice that he started Habitat for Humanity, but I still can't get over that. So we need the canal. We've got the country, and then he's offering to buy Canada, and I think it's so funny when they get offended and they're like, "We're a sovereign nation. We are not gonna be the,
Right.
51st state." And I'm like, "No, you're not, because Greenland is. You can be 52nd."
You can be
And he
52.
yeah. And my friend from Canada gets so mad. He's like, "We are a sovereign nation." I'm like, "Yes, you are. And you guys are taking so advantage of us in the trade deficits. It's
Hmm.
crazy." And Justin Trudeau, he knew he got caught red handed. And that's when Trump brought that up about being the 51st state. Like, we can fix this. But I think the real reason, and it would behoove everyone involved, if they would just say, "Okay, we'll come under your um, umbrella," because that's exactly what I think he wants to do with his golden dome. I think
Right.
because now that have the icebreakers and they're opening up the Arctic, holy cow, we are so susceptible to Russia and China. I'm
Yeah.
like, we need a dome, and that would definitely cover Alaska. I mean, you're over there on the side, but we would cover you, and it
Right.
would
Cover most
cover.
of us.
Yeah, could they stretch that out? Would it even cover Greenland? That would be fantastic if you can make this golden. It's like he's looking for a hemispheric alliance. And that's what we need right now is protection. It's like we all are distracted and totally forgot that Putin is still out there and he has nukes. So does Iran. So does China. So does Russia. And I'm like, yeah, things suck here right now with the rioting. Trump is awesome. And if we could just agree to be protected, that would be fine. And I think it would make everyone happier. What do you think?
It's like Trump says. He's a little bit busy with Russia and China and everybody else because we're in this position of like we could lose our footing really fast. and that would result in the loss of a lot of territory and a lot of hurt feelings and probably a bomb or two.
Hurt
But
feelings. You're what? Yeah,
you know,
no kidding. Oh my gosh, you're right.
but I don't know. I think it's more strategic than people are giving him credit for. They're like, oh, he wants to buy this up and buy this up just to expand power and yada. I'm like, well, it just makes sense, dude. Canada should probably just be folded into the U.S. Make us one huge giant nation, and pull those kind of resources. Then we can have the protection of the Golden Dome, which is a cracked out THAAD missile defense system that's beautiful. Um, we'd have the trade routes covered between the Atlantic and the Pacific. So if you wanted to go through anywhere, you had to come through us rather than going down through or down around South America to get to the other ocean.
Right.
Um, yeah, it makes sense, and it would be in an ideal world, it would all come together beautifully. But just the part of instituting Canada as the 52nd state or 51st state, whichever comes first,
Right.
uh, would mean a massive political shift in America because we would
So
have to give the representation to those people as well, and
Wow.
that would cause instead of 500 and something do nothing politicians, we have like 800 do nothing politicians.
Oh my gosh,
does,
you're right.
does Mexico then have to become a state because they're in the sphere
I
of
think Mexico
development
and South
anyway?
America can talk it out. If Mexico wants to become a state, why not? Get rid of your cartels and stop letting your presidents be chosen by the gang members, and then we'll talk
Well, they
about it.
wouldn't have a president anymore. She she'd become
Yeah.
the governor. She'd
Yeah.
become the governor of Mexico.
Well, I wouldn't. I'm just saying this particular chick was put there by the mafia. So,
Yeah.
when 25 of your opponents wind up mysteriously dying before the election night, that's a little
Wow.
shady.
True. That's funny, but I'm not funny. Funny enough for scary. It's
That
very
is
scary.
terrifying. But hopefully,
Hey,
we
have you,
continue to do good business with them and we operate in good faith because they don't want a problem with us, and we really don't want too much of a problem with them any more than we already have.
I think it's between
Right.
Canada and Mexico. We're bringing a lot of it back here. So I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what happens then because if we're talking about bringing Canada in as a state, there really wouldn't be any reason to necessarily worry about bringing those those
Right.
those companies and jobs back because they're already here.
Because then they would already be here. Bam.
Right. You know,
Right.
you eliminate the tariffs. You know, between the United States and Canada. And I don't think Canada can afford to remain on its own for that much longer anyway. I think the tariffs are probably killing them.
Yeah, they're having a bit of a problem up there from what I hear from all my Canadian friends.
Yeah, they're very prideful though. I get
They
it.
are.
They well, they've been a sovereign nation since forever, and it's like they just like taking it. It's like what it reminds me of. It reminds me of my kids. I'm like the ones that, bless her heart. They all work. They all have jobs, but I'm like, girlfriend, you spend more money than any kid ever did. She's like, I know, but you love me, mom, and I'm the baby. I'm like, yes, you are. Like, wow, it is insane. And I'm like, we are so, Jesse even says, he's like, we are so taken advantage of. I'm like, I know, but we love her, so it's okay. He's like, it's almost okay with
But
this
that's
last
what parents.
accident, the car accident. I'm like, girlfriend, write a book. You got to do something.
So, dude,
You're
you
So,
gotta
supposed
do something.
you're supposed to be able to take advantage of your parents within reason.
yeah, but I'm like, just affecting like the car insurance. Everyone's under the same umbrella, but I'm like, yeah, we all got to pitch in a little harder now, and so. But that's what it reminds me of totally, and it was so funny because right after this accident happened, and she got, um, but the cops said, well, we really can't say who's guilty or not if there's no footage because I really have to see this. And then he's like, but normally I would say you were at fault because you were the one that was backing up. And she's like, I was not. It's this kid. Her name, I call her Speed Racer because this kid has already totaled one car that they got her for her birthday,
Dang.
and it's yeah. So now she's driving her father's car, and she speeds, and she's in this parking lot, and she wants to get out before my daughter, and so she like goes really fast, and my daughter's backing up. She's like, I didn't even see her. And my daughter's with her boyfriend. They're both looking, but they're the car in motion. And
Right.
so when the girl, she sped up to get out first, and where my daughter's car and her car connected was the back of my daughter's car. And it was like the girls in a four-door car, so that's like a sedan. Okay, so the our vehicle hit her back door on the side, but it was like she went so fast that it was just
Huh.
it was weird, but it's still my daughter's fault because she was the one in motion, and the whole thing was awkward. And so our insurance is going up. And I'm like,
Damn.
yeah. So
That's a
that's when I
that's a
told
that's a
girlfriend,
game
you
show we can't win anyway. Insurance goes up
Yeah,
every year.
insurance. There's
You know,
there's no winning that.
you know, I I'm not
eh,
I'm not driving anymore because of this. And Donna went to renew the insurance, and it went up. And they said, well, because you have a clean driving record, but he had a clean driving record longer than you. And it's like, well, okay, but she has a clean driving record. And because it's an 8-year-old car that's financed, we have insurance. We need insurance to cover everything. But why does insurance go up? Just because I'm not driving anymore. I still
put
own the
yourself
car.
put
You know,
yourself back on it. Don't drive, but
well,
put yourself on it so
I
it's
try to,
cheaper.
but some insurance companies go, well, because he's listed on the registration and he's listed on the title, he has to be listed on the insurance policy. And I, look at the phone because I don't want to talk to these people. What do you not understand? It's been like 3 years and I haven't driven a car at all. I mean, haven't even moved our car or or drove it to
Nothing.
private property and drove on private property. I have not driven a car in 3 years. It would be like having to learn how to drive a car again. Although I did it for like four
You have to
years,
take a
but
test if it's just
no,
your name.
well, no, I turned my license in because the doctor
Ugh,
said, no, you probably shouldn't drive anymore. And I said, okay,
mm. He
you know,
doesn't pay your bill. I know. Oh my god, I get so frustrated.
but insurance is just, it's like I said, it's just
Yeah,
that game. You
you don't have to
you
drive.
can't win. And it was something I used to joke about. You buy insurance hoping you never have to use it, meaning use it to pay out. And if you knew ahead of the time you were never going to need it, then why would you buy it?
You wouldn't.
You know,
Because Obama will make you if you
Right.
Obama,
Right. I
Obama,
forgot about that.
Obama
Yes.
Obama needs to learn he's not the president of the United States anymore. And the
no,
deep
but
state, and the
He's
deep state,
ascended. He's
the deep
evolved into
state,
a whole new creature.
right? But the
Yeah.
deep
yeah.
state doesn't. Well, they might, but I mean, we have this thing called the Constitution, and the deep state hasn't figured out a way on how to get rid of it yet.
Yeah, they are
Yet.
trying. I think we don't know how to fight. That is very frustrating. Yeah, I mean, what is it? Article 4, Section 4 says the government will, as soon as Obama, no, what's his name? Biden. As soon as Biden said, we're going to open those borders, you let them come. And I remember doing a show with you, Dave, and I was so pissed that these reporters were like asking people in their native language, they're like, Donde va? Like, where are you going to go? And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then the immigrants, I'm going to call them aliens, are like, they're all smiling and they're saying, I'm going to New York. And then one's like, I'm going to Colorado. And I'm like, you
I'm
want
like
to smoke weed?
Boston. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
they probably They probably came here knowing where they were going to go. I mean, they were
But
told,
the thing
you
is,
know,
you don't cater to that. It's illegal. It's Article 4,
Exactly.
Section 4, and I'm the only person in the world that knows that. And I'm frustrated. I'm like, I'm like,
here's
but I'm not. I'm a mom. I can't go to Congress and I can't tell them, but I can write to them, and I do. And I know they like answer the phone. They're like, "Hello, Mrs. Woodruff." I'm like, "Oh, they got me on speed dial." I mean,
I,
they
I
are.
have
Mhm.
I have gotten Democrat pollers like 3 times calling me, and they say who they are. Do you have time to take to be interviewed? Take our poll. And I go, well, I voted for Donald Trump, and before I get Trump out, they hang up.
We don't want you. Oh,
Yeah,
that was mean. Are you hurt? I'm sorry.
no, I'm really not. I'm really
I
not.
was
I
like,
mean, I tell people I voted for Donald Trump in 2016. I voted for him in 2020. I voted
right,
for him in 2024, and if I could, I would probably vote for him in 2028
right,
because I don't think he's going to have enough time to get done what he does need to get done.
No.
You
right.
know, what's going to
I,
happen in the
I mean, well,
in the House
it
midterm?
could. I mean, because
I don't know. If we don't have the majority, I don't know. If we lose that,
Trump puts his foot down and the gas gets pushed and stuff starts happening, but
yeah,
we're still trying to control the fallout from all that, so we're not on
right,
such a bumpy ride.
right. He as
But
president
still,
should be able to
getting that
say,
much done in 4 years is pretty
yeah,
unlikely.
but he should be able to say, as president, I'm going to sign an executive order that says you can't do this, and Speaker Johnson should be going, okay, guys, this is what he said you can't do, and it's only good for while he's president. Why don't we make it a law? You know,
I know. Why can't we codify any of the
yeah,
stuff that he said? He
yeah,
said, "Great." I would like wanted to wait until it happened. I'm like, "Oh, we shouldn't claim taxes yet. Do we still have the IRS?" I didn't know, and Jesse's like, "Yeah, you still got to claim taxes. It's what we do." And I'm like,
yeah.
"But no," he said, "Not on tips, not on this, not on that." And he's like, "We just have to pay it,
Oh,
and
don't even
maybe."
get me started on those people that did not want. I'm sorry I cut you off, but I always do. Don't get me started on tips and taxes because I will bet the 20, I don't know, 20 something dollars that's in my change jar, I will bet that none of them paid taxes on their tips before, unless they were smart like I was and they just pulled the number out of thin air like $1,000 in
Unless it
miscellaneous
was
income
digital.
and paid
If
and
it,
paid and paid the taxes on
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
Right. But
because
I mean I just figured okay, I'll just say $1,000 of other income. And I paid the taxes on the $1,000 out of the tips that I made, but and it wasn't much anyway. But I paid the taxes on it anyway. These people are like, well, they want to work at McDonald's for $25 an hour, and they don't want to get taxed. These people, that never paid
Mhm.
tips before want to get taxed, and the only reason they got taxed in the beginning was tips went in on credit cards, and the accountant of the establishment said, oh, okay, there's $50 here that William got as a tip. I have to show that William got it as a tip so that I don't have to pay taxes on it. And then when I pay it to William, I have to make sure he pays his taxes on it.
Mm.
Come on. But the
yeah,
IRS, no, we probably don't. We probably don't need the IRS anyway. Really, I don't think we do
No,
because the purpose,
I
the
thought
purpose.
Trump was gonna say we could just pay our taxes on like a card the
Yeah,
size
I
of
thought it
what
was
a
going to be a card
postcard.
like a card. Yeah, a card
yeah.
this size.
It's not supposed to be pages and pages and
Right.
so yeah, I don't do we probably have to vote that into law too, but everyone forgets. So like good ideas and then we're like it doesn't happen because we didn't
Yeah.
fight for it. That's all I can think of.
No. Yep.
Gotta find out who's fighting these fights, if anybody, and then if not, try and
Yeah,
organize something.
right. All I do is make
Why don't you fight
posts.
for it, William?
Huh?
I'll,
I'm going to move to Alaska and support Governor Lockett.
I'd be all about it.
Awesome.
I actually there's this opening on City Hall now because we just had this thing where our mayor stepped down.
No.
Um, he was being forced to sign this thing that the assembly passed that was some correspondence, and it was just a bunch of virtue signaling bullshit. But he didn't want to sign it, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to put my name on that." He's trying to represent the actual voice of the people, and the voice of the people is not united behind this one thing. So why would he sign it? So he's like, dude, the assembly can sign it if they want to, but I'm not going to sign it. So he vetoed it. And then they tried to pass it again, and he vetoed it again. And then they moved to replace him with Deb Potter, who's on the assembly. Uh, and then that got vetoed, of course. But then once it gets vetoed, it goes back to the assembly, and then they can just approve it anyway. So I'm like, really, what is the point of the mayor? What are you trying to say here? So you got a stopgap up at the top that everybody's supposed to respect, but then whenever that thing says don't do this, it doesn't matter because you're just going to do it anyway. What the fuck?
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I was talking with someone because I guess there is an opening on the FCC for a
There you go.
commissioner. President Trump, President Trump can. Well, he's actually appointed someone who I guess is going through the Senate right now. But for fun, I had talked to someone I know at the FCC and said, "This is my experience here. This is my experience there. This is my experience there. How much would I get?" And they said, "Well, you get paid about $212,100." I said, "I can't take the job." The person said, "Why?" "Because I'd have to give up Social Security. That's too much."
Okay. Okay.
And I'd have to go to work.
Yeah,
I'd
because they
have
have
to
to go
go
to
to
work
work. I
and do
couldn't do it
stuff.
at home.
It's so
Yeah, I'd have to go
tough.
to work. I mean, I could handle going to work, but the problem is I can't handle having a boss. It's like I stand at Walmart every once in a while and listen to these young kids who have no idea what they're talking about, talking to a customer who knows that they're just that the person is full
Yeah.
of crap. And I get fired because I go up to my manager, who's probably like half my age, and go, "You have no idea what you're talking about. You're just going to get, you're just, you're just blowing smoke to sell it up, to sell a piece of product. You don't think
You're a
of,
salesman.
is
You're
there
not
something
actually a
better? Is there,
person who's
yeah, you
right.
don't get involved. When I worked at J.C. Penney and I sold cameras, I do have to admit that, yeah, I was on commission. So every once in a while, you had to push this one, even though you knew this one
Right.
was better. You that was just the nature of the beast, and you had to do it. But if someone came in and said, "I'm interested in the camera," I'd show them two or three, and then get it down to two, then get it down to one, and say, "That's the better camera. It's going to cost you more because it's the better camera." Or I would look at them and they would come in and say, "I want to buy this one because it's on sale."
You missed your
You can buy
calling.
it, but
You
it's
should have been in.
you can buy it. You can buy it, but it's a piece of
Oh,
junk. You're gonna come in here 2 days from now and tell me you bought a piece of junk, or get mad at me. I sold you a piece of junk. No, I didn't miss my calling with J.C. Penney. I broke rules all the time. I got raises all the time because I broke rules all the time that somebody had to break because managers weren't around.
oh my gosh.
Right.
They A manager was leaving and said, "I have, like, I don't know, three or four departments, and Dave is capable to be the manager of all four departments." And they said, "Well, we'll review it and we will get back to you." They gave it to somebody who had no idea what they were talking about in any of the four departments. And I just went upstairs and I said, I broke rules because no one was here to do what needed to be done, and someone had to do it. I didn't care if I got yelled at. I didn't want other people to get
Right.
yelled at. So I broke rules. But, you know, to give a job that I am overly qualified for, the outgoing manager told you I was overly qualified for, and not get the job, I'm out of here. They put me on, I think, 90 days probation for breaking one rule. And at the end of the 90 days, I got something like $1 an hour raise.
Oh, no.
Because no, I was perfect for 90 days. I didn't do anything wrong.
Nothing.
I,
Not a single thing.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm sorry, I can't sell you this the way you want it right now because the manager who makes that approval, or the assistant manager, if there is one who makes that approval, is not available. I would call the store manager all the time, going assistant manager, because the actual store manager liked me, but he didn't work nights.
Wow.
The assistant manager, the assistant manager didn't like me, and I would call him all the time and go, Harold, someone has to make a decision. He'd go, well, you're used to making that decision, but Harold, I'm not the assistant manager. I'm not the store manager. I'm not the department assistant manager
Is
or
this a
manager. So it's not my place to make those decisions anymore. But Harold would say, you broke the rules all the time and you made those decisions. I proved to you I'm capable of being
this
someone
is
I'm
at
not
JC
supposed to be.
Penney's, not the limo business?
Yeah, it was at JC Penn.
Wow. That's great. I'm telling you, sales was your thing, but so was limos, so that's cool. I don't know.
No, no,
What do
no,
you
no, no,
think?
no.
What do
No,
you
no,
guys
no, no.
think about another planned demic? Do you think it's going to come again? They're planning something.
I think they'd be stupid not to with all the stuff they have in the works. I mean, they have all the extra, disease X cures and the monkeypox
Jeez.
vaccines and the Ebola stuff
Oh God.
and
Jabs.
That
yeah,
Extra.
all the jabs, jabs
since
for everybody. Everybody gets a jab.
since I saw the post, and it was probably 6 months or more ago, where Bill Gates said we are just about ready to release the next
What a
strain.
sicko. No,
I I came back from that and I said to people, either I am very smart and you guys are all very stupid, or you're just not paying attention. And people would say to me, well, what do you mean? He's telling you we're about ready to release the next strain. They don't release the next strain. They discover the next strain and figure out a way to
that's
eradicate it.
normal. No, but this.
Be- beyond the shadow of a doubt, I am convinced that I can say it. COVID-19. I can't type it into live chat. I am convinced that COVID-19 is nothing more than a biological
Right.
Yeah.
weapon. Obama paid $30 million into it. I don't know who else paid money into it.
To thin the
Uh,
population. I don't think they care.
well, no, 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 no. It was a biological
Mm,
weapon. It fit their agenda. It would kill a lot of
right.
people in
I
in
don't think it was
in the
ready yet.
time that it was here, but I don't think that's what it was created for. I think they just realized that they could use it. And then I get into arguments with people like, well, yeah, I took the shot, but it was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. It was like when it first came out. I got one booster, and then they pulled it. The Johnson and Johnson. They pulled it because they had all kinds of problems with it. My neurologist at the time said, "When did you take it?" And I pulled out my card and I showed him when I took it. He said, "It's not even in your system anymore.
That's a good thing.
It's not in your system anymore. If you there might be some damage, but not enough to worry about." There was also rumors that some people that took the Johnson and Johnson one dose and the dose booster got a placebo and didn't actually get the vaccine, and they because they were testing, you know,
Right. Well, this is it.
that,
Fauci made this. He's the same guy, along with Bill Gates, that developed and initiated HIV back in the 80s when it was a big
well,
thing. I'm like, this is getting
No,
sick.
went over to Africa and gave it to
Yeah,
monkeys.
are you okay with
Yeah,
this conversation, William? Because
It
I'm
always
like,
comes from monkeys. Always
okay,
comes
I
from
was like,
monkeys.
if
I
you're like so pro medical and everything, I'm
if
really gonna offend you, and I am
Oh
just
no,
not gonna.
if
I'm
if
absolutely
if
convinced
our
that they're.
if our host networks, YouTube and Facebook, are ever upset with me and the broadcasts that I
Right.
do, they'll just say, "Well, you can't do them for a while." YouTube has taken me off for a week here and a week there, and then I think the last time I looked, they stopped doing it. They just, I'm so far down there, the algorithms keep me so buried that we have 32 subscribers on YouTube after 4 years of doing shows
Wow.
on YouTube. So I'm not, they're they're not going. If they say you can't be on YouTube for a week, they're making life easier
Right.
for me. If Facebook and YouTube say you can't be here for a week, well, that's a little bit more difficult because I have to do some things that I'm not quite ready to do so that I can be other places. You know what I mean?
Right. William, what
But,
were you gonna say about the jab?
but
Oh, just that
yeah, what about the
they're
jab, William?
first off the COVID thing. I honestly think that COVID was going to be a whipping, but then it got out before they actually made it as lethal as they wanted it to be. Because that's the only way I can figure that is that actually happening. Because
Well,
you would not release a
or
virus
they have,
into the world with that much
well,
the contagion levels off the charts, dude. 100%. Every human on Earth got Rona. There are undiscovered tribes in the Amazon right now that are suffering with the coronavirus. Everybody got it,
right,
but no, hardly anybody died from
but
it.
they
I mean, comparatively. Uh,
Right, but like Bill Gates said, there's people taking notes over what
yeah,
happened, and then he's ready to release the next stronger
right.
strain. I mean, this makes no sense to me at all. If they wanted half of us or more gone, they have the technology and they have the knowledge, and Fauci is one of the people that has the knowledge. He could have delivered exactly what they
I
wanted.
know, and don't tell
I mean, he
people.
made a
How
lot.
does he not have handcuffs
Well,
on? It's like we don't
Yeah,
know
no
how to
idea.
fight. We don't know how to fight. If
well, no one
someone
seems to know
admits that, you take them away. You try them.
no one seems to know where he is. The last rumor I heard was that he had actually left the country and was working at Wuhan
And
Labs.
well, that's a pretty good location.
Huh.
I mean, besides coordinates, you know the lab he's in Wuhan.
You
When you
know,
put enough time in
Wow.
there, as far as money goes and effort, and making sure they're up to code.
he owns he owns the patent. He owns the patent to the disease, which means that he's getting a royalty shot every time someone takes a shot. Uh, it will come a day on Facebook that if I say COVID-19, what if we were under on a digital currency where they could actually do it? Every time I said COVID-19, they takes away from me. Well, actually, they make it more stringent so that I understand you can't do it. They take $100 away from me. In the course of a week's worth of broadcasts, all 10 of them. When I
Right.
realized they took $500 away from me, I would stop saying it. But that wouldn't stop me from saying something so people understood what I meant. But I just
Wow. I'm shocked that it's coming back and that it's so obvious. I mean, the people with thinking caps on know exactly what happened and what the government was doing and who did this and who has the patent and everything. And I call Walgreens because I want to make sure my prescriptions are ready. And while I'm waiting, I'm in this loop, and it's telling me that I can get my new COVID shot. And I'm like,
oh god,
they have the guts to say that.
yep.
I
It's
had the
just,
exact same experience when I called in my meds the other day. I was like, "Are you serious?"
yeah,
Nah.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I know where I can find a list of deaths because of that.
Speaking of meds, I can tell you that life is better if they wean you off of your industrial strength sleep narcotic,
Oh, really?
bring you back to melatonin, which I should never have left.
Right.
Oh,
You you you
I mean, if melatonin was doing the job, why would they
you
even take you
you
off
sleep
melatonin?
better because every night, every morning when I look at Donna and say, I know it took forever for me to fall asleep last night. She looks at me and says, no, I was awake the entire time. It did not take you anywhere near the amount of time you thought it took you to fall asleep. And you snored up a storm. So I'm going, and this morning I woke up and felt like I don't know, like I had slept for a week and a half.
That's great.
Yeah, I got to start taking some melatonin.
Yeah,
I'm like, I
Keep
have
me
never
awake.
felt
yeah,
like that, but okay.
yeah.
That's
And,
awesome.
and the maximum I think on melatonin you can take is 20 milligrams. They put me there, and then I said it wasn't working, so they put me on something industrial strength at 8 milligrams, and I still said that's now too much. I'm always tired, and they said, okay, I don't know, half it, then quarter it, and then by then you should be done. And then if you need it, go back to melatonin at like
Oh
10
wow.
milligrams. And at 10 milligrams, you sleep through it. So
Yeah.
because it's natural. You make it in your body
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
anyway.
think
All you're
yeah,
doing by
I
You're
heard
just
taking
that.
cranking it up.
is making is cranking it up enough. But I mean, I'm 63 years old. And I can't remember the last time I wasn't on something to put me to sleep. To where I haven't done it out here in the 3.5 years we've been here, but I'm just about ready to say, hey, you know what, guys? I learned how to sleep when I was a baby inside of my mother. I mastered it when I was born and outside of my mother, and I'm 63 years old. It might take a little bit of time for me to lay there and get into where I need to be and fall asleep, but I don't. Some medicines, okay, you tell me I got to take them because I haven't looked for a natural alternative. Okay, fine, I agree. Or it's the pharmaceutical companies are giving it to me for free anyway. So we're all going to die at some point. But I'm just tired of giving them
Yeah.
help to when I
And
die
paying
because I
for it.
because I don't want to die because I'm having so much fun being here. But I do want to say hey to Larry Estes, who's watching. Barbara Emmons is watching. Doctor David Novar is watching, and all I'm going to say is I want to thank him for the help with issues on this laptop because it was seriously behind in some major work that it needed, and I appreciate the help that I
Hi
got.
Chuck.
And
He missed
Chuck's
let's see
here.
who else is
Chuck
watching.
Cook, yeah. He
Chuck's
missed
here.
the show last
Chuck Cook, do you
yeah.
want?
It was
Do you want to come on and join us, Chuck? I had thought you had said you were not available to join us, but give me a moment. I'll turn my mic off once so that you won't hear me type, and I'll send you a link, Chuck, and then I will apologize when you're here. So hang on just a moment.
Cool, cool. I like Chuck. Good guy.
he's a good guy. He was on a run for his work. He through Chicago, I think, Illinois, somewhere in Illinois. Have you ever been there? Holy cow!
No.
It feels like what they would describe the autobahn as over in Europe. These cars were going so fast. It was
Can't nobody
crazy.
drive.
It was nuts, and we had to stop because we had to go on a bathroom break. We had the kids with us. We were driving from oh gosh, this must have been 10 years ago. We were driving from Idaho to Michigan to go to one of a family member was married. And I was like, they're getting married. And I thought, oh, this is great. It was like a cousin and it was fun, but that was a scary time going on the Autobahn, which is not the Autobahn, it's just
Yeah,
Chicago.
that'd be crazy.
It's
Never got to
nuts.
Chicago. I got to go through Colorado. Got to go through Denver, and that was nice. Miami's the craziest traffic I ever seen. Like
Oh
going through
wow.
because we were driving down to the Keys to go to my ex's cousin's wedding, I think. And me and Daniel were all excited because me and her brother were all excited because it was going to be an open bar. So we were trying to get in with traffic and get in the fast lane and all that. Dude, you could be doing 90 miles an hour and still have somebody right up on your bumper on that I-4.
Oh,
Telling you,
that's crazy.
it
Yeah,
was
that's funny.
insane.
Well, Chuck just messaged me that he's trying to do try going 45 miles per hour and then cars going past you at
Yeah,
80 or 90. And he has to go that slow or even slower depending on uh, the
on the
size of the
load.
truck,
Yeah.
the size of the load, so I respect what he does. But Chuck, I did send you a link. If you are someplace where you can join us, please do. And if you're not, then disregard. Maybe we'll get you on as soon as you are available to be on because it's not fun without the Chuckster.
Yeah, William, I have to ask you the craziest question because you know about grocery stores.
Okay.
Okay, so I was I'm sorry. No, this is good. Okay, because I was at our grocery store very early in the morning, and and the little Asian women were there because they make sushi. They make the little
Okay.
sushi rolls in the morning. And so
Right.
they're like, "Oh, you want to try a sushi roll?" And I said, "No, I don't. I'm just scared about like the whole parasite thing." I said
Yeah.
it quietly and she goes, "Oh, no, 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 honey, you don't do that. This is we freeze it." And I said, "You freeze it." And then one of the guys in the meat department was like, "Yeah, they freeze it. It's in the freezer, so all the parasites are dead." I'm like, "They're frozen." He's like, "Well, yeah, but they're dead, frozen." I was like, "Okay, it does feel
Maybe.
better." But I should have asked him this question, but I'll ask you. I didn't have the guts because I thought he was going to be like mad at me. He didn't have a pleasant
Right.
face. Okay, so do you guys freeze bananas? When they come in to
No.
not there's no really there's no parasites on it, but I have seen those hand-sized spiders, and I'm like, "Are they
We do
freezing them?"
get we do get spiders in with our bananas, and we don't freeze them because, well, one, they don't last that long. We bring in a pallet and we sell through that in maybe 2 days. So,
Okay. Yeah,
well,
because I
3 days.
I buy those bananas when they're so yellow, and I'm
Mhm.
telling you, it barely goes a day, and I already see spots.
Yeah,
They
starting to get
go
spots
bad
already.
so
So fast.
fast.
Yeah. But you
So I
can't
won't
freeze them because I
You
think
guys,
there's like something about the stuff it releases is no longer able to be released because it's not doing what it's doing in there, and then they wind up like ballooning or just never ripening at all, or it damages them somehow in the development process. Yeah. So no, we do not freeze bananas.
do you support
Okay, that's
do you
encouraging.
support Bill Gates by putting that other stuff, that thing that he sells on fruit that I guess allows it to to stay
Shiny.
fresh longer?
Uphill. He came up uphill.
Appeal,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, but bananas. Back to the bananas. So they go bad so fast, and my husband. That's not That's not him, that's my son. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
like, "I can't say this."
Hi again, son.
Yes, no, because they start getting spots on. He goes, "We buy these bananas. You say you need bananas. You got recipes. You got this and that, and they already got spots." I'm like, "Holy crap! I can't move fast enough in this house." And so, anyways, when they start getting spots, the other day, it wasn't the other day. It was months ago. I started this, and it works out really well. Okay, so they were getting spots, and I'm like, "Dad's on his way home." Like, hide the bananas. So like, where do I put them? I'm like, put them in the freezer. The oven already had something in it, and they're like, freeze them. I'm like, yep, freeze them, just freeze them to hide them. I didn't want to pitch them, and I couldn't put them in the oven, so I was like, freeze
Okay.
them. So we froze them. A month later, they were like black. They were nasty. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my god! Like
Yeah.
Jesse's gonna see this and really throw a fit. And so I was like, make banana bread really fast. So I thawed it out, not in the microwave, in warm water, and then I was able to squeeze out the hi Chuck. I sque- I squeezed out the
Hi.
How was the
banana
trip, Chuck?
meat. And they're like, there's no
Yeah. There
meat
you
in
go.
the banana. I'm like, it's fruit. It's the banana stuff. It came out beautiful. It was pure,
Nice.
like white. Yes, and it was squishy and it was perfect for banana bread. I would not eat it in cereal. You can't cut it, it's mushy.
Right.
But I was like, this is a really good thing to do. And then I was starting to think, I bet they freeze them and that's why they go bad so fast. But you don't.
Mm-mm.
So I just have to Make
yeah,
them
now I know.
fast.
If I can freeze some bananas really quick, then I can have some stuffed banana bread.
Right. Yeah, it's nasty when you
Yeah.
open. You think it looks bad.
Well,
You think it looks bad on the counter.
you
Wait till you
take
see what's in the freezer.
uh,
I
you take a banana, cut it in half the long way, put peanut butter on it,
know.
then push into the banana any kind of topping like sprinkles or chips, anything that you want. You put on top of that, and then you put it on a wax baking sheet. Layer it with some kind of good chocolate, like Hershey syrup comes to mind just because it's so easy. But you'll buy some good Godiva and
It's like a banana
melt it
taco.
and put it
That sounds good.
yeah.
put it on top, and then throw nuts on top of that. Put it in the freezer and come back when it's frozen.
Huh.
It is the best,
That's awesome.
the best
Like,
way,
like I'm not fat
the
enough,
best
Dave.
way to eat it. I didn't say you eat the whole
Oh.
tray, Chuck. Yeah,
Oh, you do more
yeah.
than one?
You want to
Oh,
save.
okay.
You want to save. Well, you can do more than one, but then you got to make more than one
Oh.
tray.
Yeah. I'm too busy and too tired to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you look
Yeah,
tired.
Jen,
It's like
do you think
my-
that's bad?
My mother,
Oh no,
God rest her
you don't
soul,
look
would
bad.
buy would buy Oreo thins and then eat like I don't know 5, 6, 20, 30 because it was the same as eating I don't know 3 or 4, 5, 6 regular Oreos, but she couldn't do that because she shouldn't be eating them anyway. But
They're healthier for you, so you just eat
people's
5 times as much to get full.
people's logic.
That's good.
Well,
I'm gonna have to tag out with Chuck
I'm
here
living
because
proof that
I gotta get ready to go to work.
Oh,
we're
have
too
okay.
fun. It was nice to
What?
see you.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
nice
you
to see you
came,
too,
Wormy.
Jen and Dave.
glad you
It's
came.
always wonderful coming on.
All right.
Chuck.
Yep.
Yep.
Nice to see you. Okay. Thanks for coming, Chuck.
Stay safe.
Whichever one you are, I don't know.
Stay safe.
Box number 1. It was nice. It was nice seeing you.
Yeah, Jen, in answer to your thing about Chicago, there, you're escorting a
The Autobahn.
245,000 pound beam. That's what the beam weighs. That don't include the truck. Okay, we're going 45 mile an hour, and these people are passing you like, yeah,
I know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It's crazy. It
We
is
made it. I
crazy.
got
It
home
is
at
just
1 o'clock this morning, Central Time, and the night before I
Yeah.
left here around 12 o'clock and got home at 12 o'clock. So it was a 12 hour. Yeah, and today wasn't much better, but it is what it is. So.
oh good for
I know.
you. That's
Right.
crazy.
I respect you, Chuck, because you're still getting up and doing it when you have to.
How do you
it.
stay awake
And,
when you're driving? What is your trick?
This is just too much shit going on. You have to stay awake. Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
help but
You
stay
don't have
awake.
time to be tired. The only time you got the time to be tired is when you get home and the head hits the pillow, but then your mind's racing. So about an hour and a half later, then you finally get to sleep.
And you went on your
how
computer.
many
You're
times have you
awesome. Hi.
How many times have you gotten home, thought you were off, you could, go to bed and kept your Z's, and as soon as your head hits the pillow, how many times have they called and said, "Nope, get back in the car"?
Well, that's just it. And those 12-hour days in the car, it's like you get out of the car and you go sit down like here at the computer desk or whatever, and it feels like the floor's moving, because you're used to the
Oh,
motion of the car and stuff, and your body's hasn't got to the brain yet that okay, we're not in the car anymore. Yeah, it's. But you don't have time to be tired. There's too much shit going on around you. We had a motorcycle pass me. He must have been going 130, and he passed me and cut right in front of me, and then over into the other 2 lanes, and just crazy. Yeah, it's like the Indy 500 down there in Chicago, or the Autobahn, like you said.
It's scary. It
The
is.
motorcyclists are stupid
Yeah, I
that
put
do
a
that
put a.
because
I don't know,
you
Jen,
know
if you went and saw it on my page or not, but I put a picture of what the beams look like, and yeah, they're heavy.
Oh,
yeah
I will look. That's great. That's
yeah
Yep.
yeah
crazy job. Good
yeah.
for you.
Yep. Well, I love doing it. So that's the first beam from county materials that I've hauled this year so far. I've had
Oh
all
wow.
the rest of them have all been generator boxes. I did have one other beam, but I got that from up north and took that down to southern Wisconsin. That was back in January. But yeah,
Oh
that's only
wow.
the second beam I've held escorted this year so far. So, but there's 13 bridges all under construction down there in Chicago. So by fall and winter, yeah, we're gonna be busy.
Ouch!
That's
Ooh,
crazy.
ooh, ooh!
It was a
Ouch!
4 hour turnaround from the time we left the dispatch, and by the time we got home, it was 4 hours. So not bad, pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, 4 hours is okay.
Have you ever seen that movie called Final Destination? They've made like so many of them over
I think
and
there's another
over.
one that just came out. Thought I heard on Fox News or something. There's
Oh,
another Final
that's
Destination. Yeah,
it's
I've seen them
crazy.
all.
Yeah,
I've seen them all. Yeah,
The one with the
yeah.
I keep thinking of when you talk about carrying the beam. What
the
did you?
logging trucks. Yeah,
Yeah, that was bad. That was scary. I was like, I can see why you would be awake driving that truck.
yep.
It's terrible. But I know they put out a movie. It was one of those things. It's funny but not funny. It was ironic. It was terrible. They just put out this show and called another Final Destination, and this woman who went to go see it, she was so excited to finally see one of the Final Destination movies, and she died in the movie theater when the roof collapsed on her. I mean, it's sad, but I mean that's what the movies are all about: is unusual ways that people die. And so
Yeah,
she goes, yeah, and that's exactly what she did. It was the first time she was going to see this movie, and she died in the movie theater when the ceiling fell. And I thought, isn't that like the plot? It's just so sad. But yeah, I can't stop thinking of the logging truck. So thank you for being a good driver. Because it was a scary thing.
Yeah.
yeah, yep.
Have you ever played any of the video games where you have a truck, a logging truck, and you have to drive it across over a waterway, but you have to drive it like on a bridge that it obviously
Oh yeah,
shouldn't be on, but you have to maneuver it across.
we had a five
I've played
we had
that.
a 5 mile bridge last night. That or was that last night? No, that
Yeah.
was the night before. Where we're going, and we had to go over that bridge only 5 miles an hour, and we're on the
Oh,
interstate.
Oh
Everybody
God.
else is just going, you know, yeah,
Yeah.
5 mile an hour bridge because you can't have that
Yeah.
truck, you know. It was
Bounce.
a kind of a
Yeah.
little rough bridge, but and the funny thing
Yeah.
is the bridge beam was longer than the bridge.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, the bridge was
That's,
probably only maybe 30, 40 feet long. You know,
oh my
the length of it.
God.
And this beam that we hauled last night was 142, 143 feet long. That don't include the
Wow.
cab and the back of the trailer. So yeah.
Man. Does Pat go with
Ouch.
you?
Ouch.
Oh
So
no,
it's,
no.
are you, oh, I thought that would be
Yeah,
fun.
she
That's
she
like a,
drinks too she drinks too much coffee and she'd have to stop. And that's one thing they don't like
yeah,
to do. You know,
that would maybe my
you don't want
problem
to
too.
yeah
Yeah.
you don't want to stop the load if you can avoid it. I mean, there's
No.
been times I've gone 4.5 hours without going to the bathroom.
Oh
Finally, I
my
told the
gosh.
Oh.
driver, I said, I'm out of gas. I have to stop. Which is
Yeah.
true. I did have to stop for gas, but
Yeah.
yeah, you learn how to hold it. Either that or don't drink nothing for the whole trip. But, yeah.
I had a guy
Crazy.
in a limo going to New York once, and
You know,
he was watching the movie on his little DVD player, and I watch, and his eyes lids finally close, and I pulled off at a gas station, ran in and did my business, jumped back in the car, and we're driving along, and I don't know, 20, 30 miles later, he looks at me and he goes, "Did we stop? Did you get out of the car?" "No, no, no, I've been here the whole
No,
time, boss."
no,
Yeah,
no.
no, I told him I did. I said you were safe. The car's alarmed, and it was all locked, and in no time did my hands leave my wrists. You you were
Yeah,
okay.
everybody's telling me that well, you should use a Gatorade bottle or something. If you
Yeah,
got it
oh,
going. So, no, there's a size problem in there.
they uh, they call it
Oh
a
my gosh.
they call it a trucker's toilet, and
Yeah,
you
I've got a
connect.
5-gallon bucket in the back in
Yeah,
the trunk.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've got a
Well,
5-gallon
the
bucket that
trucker's
if I have
toilet.
to, I
You
just pull
use
over
a
on the side, open up both doors on the passenger side,
yeah,
open the
yeah,
bucket up, sit down, and do my
yeah,
duty, and I'm
yeah.
done. But
But
I've only had to do that three
the
times. So
the next size up from a liter, I forget what it is, but that's what you build the trucker's toilet on. And if you pay attention and you build it the right way, it works. And I know it works because I've had to use it a few times. Uh,
yeah, so we try not to stop any more than we
yeah,
absolutely have to. But
yeah,
the driver I had last night, he was, if you got to, you got to. And I said,
yeah,
well, I don't think I will have to, but and he's pretty. He was on one run when I had to stop, and not the front, for the back, and it's
yeah,
like, oh man, I can't, I gotta go.
yeah,
He says, we'll
yeah,
pull it over, we'll pull over with you,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so I got the bucket out and opened up the doors and let her go, and off we went,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Then when next time I got gas, or that same after we got done escorting or whatever, then the gas first gas station I came up to, I went back there and took the garbage bag out of there, tied it in a knot, and threw it
yeah.
away. What else are you going to do with it? I'm not taking it home.
No, no.
So,
You have to
but
be
yeah,
careful because
do what you got to do.
Crazy.
some of the truck stops will take it, but they charge you for it.
Right. Yeah.
I forget how much. 'Cause
But if you're in a
I
passenger car, they won't
yeah,
even, you know,
yeah, I pulled in one of my Lincoln Town cars and I said I just couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait any longer, and I opened up. I keep forgetting what the next size above a liter is, and I said I used a trucker's toilet. I sealed it safely. It is what it says. What I'm telling you, it is. And I don't know. I think they charged me like $5, and I said I don't care. I had to go so bad that I couldn't
hell,
stop.
I would have just put it in your
It
pants
was all.
pocket and walked
It
into the
was all.
bathroom and just dumped it in the urinal, and then you could have saved
Yeah.
yourself five
Well.
bucks, Dave.
Ah, you know,
Jen's like, huh?
it
Jen,
was
you're froze
tax.
up.
Yeah. Look, I don't
Jen,
know.
Jen's froze up.
Jen, you froze up.
Oh,
Look, I
there
don't.
she goes.
Well, we'll see if she comes back. I hope
I'm
she comes
surprised.
back.
I'm surprised I haven't froze up yet with this internet the way it's acting
Yeah,
here.
I'm surprised my internet has made it through the whole night. But we're coming up on 8:30 anyway, so
Okay. Well, at least I made it for a little bit
I,
anyway. So,
I'm glad you
hi,
made.
Jane O'Malley. Sorry I didn't
I'm glad,
text
I'm
you and
glad you
say
made it.
hi.
I'm glad you made it. It's a lot more fun when other people make
Yeah.
it. Otherwise, I got to talk for 90 minutes myself, and nobody wants to hear that, even me. Sometimes.
Yeah. Jane and Larry Estes, hello. I'm
Yep.
sorry I just
Yep.
didn't. And
There have been a
whoever,
few I've been on by myself, and at the end, I've just turned it off and I've looked at the screen and I've gone, "What the hell did I talk about for 90 minutes?"
right? Yeah. Yeah, it
But
happens.
what do you think, Chuck? You think we're going to make it?
Um,
You think it's going to get
you
worse
better
before it gets better, or
you,
what do you
you
think?
better have your stuff prepared because the shit's about ready to hit the fan. It's I don't think it's I don't think it's over. Oh no, this is just the ignition part of it. Uh,
Yeah.
there was no problems down in Chicago. Of course, we're not downtown or anything, or over by the lakeshore, but yeah, that and there wasn't anybody trying to block the freeway. Of course, with all the idiots going 100 miles an hour, be pretty stupid to be going out there and trying blocking the freeway. But
all
or
those
tollway.
idiots going 100,000
Tollways
miles.
down there. Yeah, it's all tolls. But
All those idiots going 100 miles.
so if you haven't gotten prepared, I would go to the grocery store and stock up on your canned goods, get some water and bandages, gauze, whatever. You get prepared. I mean, I'd rather have the stuff on hand and not use it, than not have it when you need it. So, just my advice: take it or leave it. I've already told most of the people I know down here, don't come knocking to my door because I've got enough for myself and Pat.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not giving stuff out.
That's
And
my
it
concern.
becomes
The people that will realize they're out, they can't get it. They'll start knocking on doors, and I'm the kind of guy that would open the door and give it to people normally, but this time around, I don't know.
no. They come knocking on the door. We're not answering.
I don't know. I mean, I'm worried about the people that are here. I mean, we've got dogs that would that I think if I was home alone, we have dogs. If I was home alone, I wouldn't open the door anyway. But I mean, we've got dogs here that I don't per se worry about my safety, but I wouldn't open the door to let the dog go after anybody else or whatever. All right, Chuck, I appreciate you coming. Randy Rose didn't make it tonight. He wasn't feeling well. Randy, I hope you feel better. And any last words, Chuck?
No. I just got done typing hi to Jane and Larry. A little late, but like I said, at least I tried.
That's okay.
No, just like I said, everybody, if you're not in a big city, you might be all right. But I've heard that they're trying to push this to even medium-sized cities to smaller cities, with 36,000 people in it, and that's where I live. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying home. I'm got everything I need right now, as far as I know. And just be ready, just in case.
Yep. Just be ready.
That's it.
All right, Chuck. Thanks for coming.
For joining. Yep.
Thanks for coming. Let's see. You want to do it, or you want me to do it? Or you want to
I'll do it. I got it.
Okay. All right.
If I can find the right control here. There we go. Bye, everybody.
All right, Chuck. All right, Chuck Cook. See him over the Facebook dial, and I'm glad. Makes me happy. Jane O'Malley is out there watching. She says, just always be ready if you can. You never know. Very good words, Jane. Very good words to know. Barbara Ammons watched, as I said. Jane O'Malley watched when Lockett was on, and he watched. David Novar was on. And this monitor just runs behind. So I apologize if I don't get to. Larry Estes was watching the storm. He's watching. He was not in the live chat. I wish he was. And Cody Malone, my friend from California, he would have some interesting things to say if he had come in. Koki, I'll get a hold of you and see maybe you want to come on and share your thoughts on what is happening out there. Kogi Malone is a great guy. I met him when I was working the graveyard shift at KFJC up at Foothill College in Los Altos, California. Los Altos Hills, California, to be exact. And Kogi came up all the time. And he wrote a song called Boogie with the Bull for a commercial jingle contest. And I guess was told that he had to sign the rights away and he didn't want to do it. And I promised him that if I ever got that midnight to 6 a.m. syndicated radio show, I would call it Boogie with the Bull. But instead, here it is, 10 hours a week on Facebook and on the Boogie with Board YouTube channel on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube. I am going to throw this out. If anybody watching or anybody who watches knows OBS Studio and Stream Sprout, OBS Studio and Stream Sprout, get a hold of me, talk my ear off, do whatever you want. I think that's where we're going to end up. And I understand what you do is you set up OBS Studio to work for you, just like the studio we're using here. You set that up, and then you link Stream Sprout so that you're able to multi-stream because we're on more than one place. And it's the way to go. A lot of people are doing it. A lot of professionals are doing it. A lot of everybody is doing it. And just being happy with it. So if anybody knows OBS Studio with Stream Sprout or knows OBS Studio with some other free multi streamer software, please get into contact with me. I think that's where we're going to go. On that note, the next steps all involve money, and I don't want to ask for money right now because I'm not really sure what we're doing on that note. But if you know OBS Studio and you know Stream Sprout with it, then please get a hold of me and let's talk. Times that we're on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we are on at 10 o'clock in the morning. I didn't feel good Wednesday, so we canceled Wednesday. And tomorrow is our Red Friday edition as well as our update edition. So our Let's Get This Weekend Started edition. I will check with Randy and know whether or not he is going to be here. If he's not going to be here, I will probably be here anyway. And let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're thinking. You know, in live chat, what you're thinking. If you want to come on to the broadcast, that is possible too. If you're a Democrat and you want to come on to the broadcast, you are more than welcome to come on. There's only one rule that I have about letting people on to the broadcast. You have to respect yourself and you have to respect everybody else who is on the broadcast. You're just coming on the broadcast to yell and scream and speak your point, not going to work. But if we all can carry a conversation on together, then we can be together. I recommend that we do it on a Monday, Wednesday. Excuse me. I recommend that we do it on a Tuesday or Thursday because we kind of sneak in a little bit more views on Tuesdays or Thursdays at 7 p.m. Then we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. If you are watching tonight and you liked it, please share it wherever you think it belongs. If you are watching and you didn't like it, please share it where you think it won't be liked as well, because usually that brings people into the broadcast who like the broadcast. Fighting algorithms and whatever else they throw at me gets to me, but we do our best to do it. So one more time, thanks to Barbara Ammons for watching, Jane O'Malley for watching, Larry Estes, Chuck Cook came in late, I appreciate that. The Storm, Cokie Malone, thank you. David Novar, thank you. And I think the cover's just about William Lockett, thank you for being on the broadcast. Robin Brunson. If you ask Robin for a coffee recommendation on Facebook, I think she will tell you Fat Cup Coffee Company. And I keep send it out to all the different coffee companies. Uh, let's do a sponsorship kind of thing. I'll never hear anything back. Probably because we don't have enough people watching. So share and share and share and share and share, and maybe we will. Anyway, I'm Dave Woven. You're not. It is 8:40, and we're going to be home momentarily, and the dogs will be barking, and you won't be able to hear me. So I'm going to wrap it up. Like I said, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. is Red Friday, and then our usual political conversation, which will include what is happening in California and other parts of the world that we need to pay attention to. Be very good to yourselves, be very good to each other, and we don't have to lock ourselves inside. We don't have to run and hide from all of this. We can sit and talk to each other, break bread together, work on what we agree on, and then go over and work on what we don't agree on, because we'll probably find a lot more that we agree on than what we don't agree on. And I'm just talking about in the United States of America. I'm not talking about the U.S. and other countries. I'm just talking about straightening out the United States. I really enjoy what I do, and sometimes it is really good and my mouth flows freely, and sometimes it doesn't. And I just enjoy what I do, so that's why I do it. Again, Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern. We usually go till about 8:30, so I'm a few minutes over. And Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we start at 10 generally and go until 11 or 11:30. A lot of things happening, but I don't want to tell you all the secrets right now. So go off and work on something. So I thank everybody who was watching. I thank everybody who was in the live chat over here on Facebook. Everybody was in the live chat over on YouTube. Every once in a while, do me a favor and go to YouTube, the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. You can either find the broadcast in progress and watch it there and be in the live chat there and just let them know that you're watching. Everybody knows that monetization is not really important, but we want to be able to do the broadcast, and we want to be able to have the views where we can get the views. But anyway, I'm Dave Gloven. I'm Dave Gloven, and you are not, as I used to say in my radio days. And I appreciate you for watching, sharing, doing all whatever you're going to do. We'll end the week tomorrow morning at 10